Welcome everybody to Changing of the Hip Hop Guards. I'm the journalist Sincere. That's my partner Uncle E. And tonight we have a man that wore many hats throughout the decades. Very imperative to the hip hop culture. We're going to get to his story. Amongst that is marketing and promotions for Nervous Records, as well as TVT Blunt, amongst other things. We have tonight Darrick Chappy Chatman. Thank you so much for joining us.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me, man. It's definitely what I learned about what you guys do as far as being historians to the culture, man. I want to say thank you. You know, I don't know how many people appreciate what you do, but I do. And I appreciate you, Medicine Man, for recognizing and bringing my name, speaking my name in places that I wasn't, and I'm not. So thank you so much, man.
You're welcome, man.
Definitely.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Yeah, a super shout out to Medicine Man for bringing us all together.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
He was the glue to making us happen. So we appreciate that.
We appreciate that.
That's right.
So, Mr. Chatman, take us back a little bit. For those who may not know anything about you, because you were very, like I said, important to a lot of people's stories.
Absolutely.
Tell us how you got your start in the industry.
Wow. So I want to definitely bring up a few great names. You know what I'm saying? I'll bring up a few great names that a lot of people will know. But I got my start, man. One day I had come home and from college, man, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I, where I wanted to work or whatever. And I had gone up to my high school to see how they were doing in football. I was a high school football player, all of those crazy things. And what happened, was I bumped into a guy that I had known since my childhood, man, since maybe kindergarten, first grade. And that particular person is Drew Ha. Everybody would know Drew Ha from, Duck Down and the Boot Camp Clique, the Mighty Boot Camp Clique. And, of course, Black Moon, setting it all off. And so Drew approached me, man, at the football game. We were watching his brother, who y'all would know today as Noha. Okay. His brother was playing high school football. We go way back. I was there when Noah was born. Me and Drew go that far back. When Noah was born, I was there when the Mr. and Mrs. Friedman brought him in the house and put him on the damn counter, near the refrigerator, So we go that far back. And today, Noah and Drew, obviously, they run Duck Down. So I began, to tell him what I was doing after college. And basically, man, he said, well, do you want to be my intern? So I'm looking at him like, intern, where do you work? You know what I'm saying? Where do you work, man? He's like, well, I got this group. We did a song called Who Got the Props? And lo and behold, I'm a historian. So I'm listening to the underground, and I had heard it once or twice. And I was like, you do Who Got the Props? Like, so, this is where it all jumped off, man. So we eventually, it took about 3 or 4 months. Me and Drew had communicated back and forth. The song was picking up a little speed. I think they had started doing shows. They had maybe been in a little bit of process of development, and coming from the Chuck Chill Out situation. I wasn't privy to that, you know what I'm saying? So I can't speak on that part. But 3 months go in, man, and he gives me a call one day while I'm in the crib chilling. He's like, yo, can you come down here tomorrow? Now, check this out, y'all. So I take the train, boom, I'm on Fordham Road in the Bronx, right? I take the train. I'm so happy. I said, F it, y'all. I'm going to hop the turnstile. I get arrested. First day going to Nervous Records by the undercover cops on Fordham Road, Grand Concourse. Now I'm in cuffs. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest breaks it looks like in my life, and I still got a little bit of hood in me. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna hop this train, boom. I got my Timbs on, and I'm not thinking corporate at this time, man. I'm still thinking like, yo, let me just do what I gotta do. Man, they arrest me, man, and I explained to the cop, like, listen, I'm going down for my first internship, and this is a big word coming from one of us brothers. I'm an intern now on 42nd Street Broadway. You know what I'm saying? And the cop looks at me. He's like, "You an intern for what? What do you do? Why should I let you go?" And I'm like, "Man, listen, we got this group. This is my first day going down, as the intern. I'm on 42nd Street in Broadway, 1501 Broadway, which is right next door to MTV. And I'm tagging that because there's going to be a story being right next door to MTV. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be another story. So now he lets me go. He uncuffs me, man. And he goes, man, go get your job. And I'm like, oh, snap. You know, normally nobody gets that break. And so I get on the train, I head downtown, and I go up in there. And you're going to see a picture that I sent Medicine Man of my first day at Nervous Records. My dreads was like this big, man. It was about this big. They long now, you know, it's been many, many years now, you know, and I've cut them 20, 30 times or whatever. So I walk in and I'm fresh out of college and I've always lifted weights. So I'm this, and I walk in and here's Mike Weiss and his dad, Sam Weiss, and Drew Ha. And now people who don't know Mike Weiss's father, he was the real man. And he ran a company called Miasam, M-I-S-A-M, Miasam. Now, Sam was a gangster. So this is how Mike got in the game. This is where Nervous Records come from. They meet me. All of a sudden, Drew Ha introduces me, and he gives me a book, man. First day, he gives me a book, and we got this college radio list, man. And we got all the colleges in America that aren't the major colleges. So we don't have USC. So we got this list, and eventually this list, guys, would be called the CMJ and Gavin radio stations, okay? These particular stations became what is reported as Gavin, okay? And CMJ, which is the college, you know, music stations that report sort of what would be like SoundScan, which came along a few, you know, along that time as well, which is the times that the vinyl spent around the turntable. This is how we recorded our spins throughout the country. Okay, so this is what those things were. So we would get reported, and a list would come in every week of every DJ across the country that was playing our songs. So now I'm like, oh snap, we don't have a template, y'all. So this is for real. When Matt Fingers might jump on later, and he'll explain. We don't have a template, guys. We don't have a template on how to really do hip hop, especially from the underground. We all knew the big boys, Heavy D, you know what I'm saying? We knew the big boys who had power behind them. We didn't have that power. We had a small office. I had a notebook with about 300, 400 colleges, man. So I pick up the phone and I start calling. Yo, how you doing, Sway? This is real. There's Tech and Sway. They on the West Coast. They still in college. We become friends. Hey, Sway, Tech, listen, we got this new group called called Black Moon. You know, it's featuring 5FT. It's featuring Evil D. It's featuring Buckshot, blah, blah. And send me the record. This is how this went. So I run in the back, pack the records. We had to pack the records, put it on the Pitney Bowl machine, weigh it, press the button, get a sticker to come out, get the sticker, put it on there, and wait for the mailman. So we would do hundreds of these, day after day after day. Now, after you send out all these records, I still have these books, guys, where every single Black Moon record I sent out and to who, I have the time and the date literally written in a book today, right now, okay? Yeah, now they have, I'm doing a great job, y'all. I'm doing great. I don't know where Drew is. Drew's becoming the Drew Ha I think that we see today. As Black Moon started to grow, Drew started to take them to in-stores and do things like that. He no longer needed to be in the office with me because all I needed to do was get the mission, and I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm on that mission. I'm like, all right, we're going to make 500 calls today, and at 3 o'clock, I'm going to hit the West Coast, and I'm going to call, and then whoever wants the record, we're going to send it out. So at this time, guys, we only have promos. We only have what we call white label records. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have the actual record itself. We had white labels. Now it's banging. I get the report back, and we on the list. Uh-oh. We on Gavin, so which means certain college radio stations are actually playing it. What do we do next? We come up with a plan. Let's make some stickers. This is where y'all see the Black Moon stickers, the black and red stickers, which were created. I'm going to say Buckshot and Five drew those stickers, man, as far as they created them, as far as I can sort of remember. We got them printed up. Now we slow promo on. Yo, Sway, yo, Tech, yo, Tigger, whoever's running college radio at these times. And this is before these guys got big. We had relationships as far as friendships over the phone for many, many, many years. You know what I'm saying? We would end up meeting at what is called the Gavin Convention, where all the artists, all the particular executives, all the particular, people who wanted to promote their next up and coming, single, album, or personality, we would meet up in Florida, Atlanta for days, New Orleans. And remind me about New Orleans. I got to tell you a story how I helped Tretch. I saved Tretch's life in New Orleans at a Gavin from getting shot by some boys from Mississippi. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Now we got this pattern, y'all. We got this pattern, and we making noise. SNS, everybody, Kid Capri, everybody's coming up to the label. They want this record. Lo and behold, I think they create photos. We started sending out their photographs, like Holly, like they have the press kit, the promo press kit. Yes. So we sending out this. So we start doing this, and listen to the strategy. We could have done it all at the same time, but what we realized was we're going to feed these guys this. Then we're going to feed these guys a T-shirt. Then we're going to say, hey, if you push us up the chart, we're going to give you the new Black Moon T-shirt. Boom. Now Black Moon, which never got to #1 in Gavin, but I got him to #2 about 6 months, 5 months later, 4 months later, as the reports. And we didn't get to #1 because guess who we was up against?
Wu-Tang Clan.
No, Wu-Tang didn't come till about 3 years later. Yo, check this out. Wu-Tang, as we know it, they were around, but they didn't blast off until my boy Trevor Williams signed Wu-Tang out in loud West Coast. Wu-Tang wasn't signed on the East Coast. Huh?
What timeline are we talking about, Chappy?
We're talking about during the Who Got the Props, but it wasn't Nas. Nas
93, 92, 93.
92, 93, going in basically the middle of 93. So take a guess. The group, the guy that we could never surpass was J. Rue the Damager at the time.
Come Clean.
Come Clean was the song I could never catch. I could never catch that song. And I would meet up with J. Rue and Afu, and we would talk and laugh about it. And during this time, guys, in the industry, we were all good sports, man. It was very competitive, guys. It was very competitive. They knew we wanted their asses because we chasing them. We got Black Moon, Who Got the Props. But if you go back and you pull those lists, we're always #2. We never passed J. Rue. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably the premier factor. There's a lot of factors involved in that particular, jump off with J. Rue the Damager. He had a great logo. If y'all remember his logo with dreads. Man, what an awesome marketing plan. You know what I'm saying?
I still got the soap with the logo on it. So to Come Clean.
Yo, kid, don't ever use. Yo, please. It may not mean a lot to the world. You know what I'm saying? But what these things were and these promo items that you're discussing, I created the Blunt T-shirts and the basketball jersey. I'll talk about that later. But what it does is it holds a moment in time that you can picture where you was. You can picture all of those great things, and the culture began to understand that. So us behind the desk begin to understand, wow, we're doing a great job marketing for some of the reasons that you said. I would go outside, ride the train. Now I moved to Brooklyn. I moved down the street from Big, basically about 4 doors. And I don't know him as Biggie Smalls at the time, y'all. So that's not what it was. I didn't know this dude. I'll tell you how that happened. But I did get to know him when Matt Life, who y'all know Matt Life, came to my house one day and said, you need to come down the street and see this big boy get busy in this cypher. I come down the street, and what we know as Biggie Smalls today is in this cypher. And my eyes are like this, like saucers. And of course, Biggie made music that people could dance to and things like that, that became marketable for the audience that he was approaching and that Puff wanted him to approach. But to see him freestyle, to see him when he was raw, I got a chance to see that. So now I'm living in Brooklyn and I got Black Moon and I'm walking around every day with 10 T-shirts, 50 stickers in my backpack. You know what I'm saying? A sawed-off 16-gauge shotgun. You know what I'm saying? I only had one shot. You know what I'm saying? In the mob.
Wait, hold on, Chappy, hold on. You got it, because there are gonna be some people watching this that are not from our era. You have to explain why are you walking around with a sword off in your backpack.
Okay. I'm explaining that. Damn, that's a good question. I love these questions. Hit me with those type of questions because I have answers. And those answers may not sound sane to everybody who's listening. Okay? What it was, brothers and sisters, is because I'm from the hood. If you remember where DMX, if you saw the hospital where everybody was chanting and praying for DMX's life, there's a little projects in that. That's where I'm from. I'm from that's where I'm from. All those cats out there, I knew all of them, other than the ones that came to visit to pray for DMX. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in the 90s was fierce, y'all. You know what I'm saying? People robbed you for your sneakers. People robbed you for your Timbs. People robbed you for whatever. But guess what? Brooklyn was the spot. Brooklyn was hot, fire, and I looked like a rapper. So I got my army fatigue hat backwards, but really I'm an executive with a rapper's, train of mind. I just didn't MC. I carried my shotgun because when I left record labels, I wanted to make it home. It's really pretty much, I'm not a troublemaker, but I will burn you if I got to get home. You know what I'm saying? So it really was fear, respect, and just being a chess player. Like, look, I'm not here. I don't want no beef, but I know where I'm at. I know I'm not from Brooklyn, right? Check this out. I'm from 914. You know what I'm saying? White Plains, Yonkers, Mount Vernon. Big shout out to my people in White Plains. Big shout out to my cousin MC Brillo. Y'all don't know that. You know what I'm saying? The Connecticut bully, MC Brillo. My family, Pistol Pete, all of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Yonkers, my cousin Vaughn. Man, all of them dudes, and they grew up around X, and we'll get to that story of how DMX was really introduced to the major part of the industry. So I carried my sword off, you know what I'm saying? I might have had, it was a one shot, y'all. It was a one shot, old school sword off shotgun with no handle, y'all, no handle. So I raps, I'm from the hood. I got the black electrical tape around my shit. Instant federale, instant felony if I get caught. You know what I'm saying? Instant felony. But I'm not thinking like that. I want to make it home. I'm not from Brooklyn. But I'm representing Brooklyn, right? I'm living out there now. My son is born out there. Big shout out to my son, who y'all don't know, became the A&R for the artist Her. You know what I'm saying? So my son, yeah. He threw the Lights On Festival, all of that crazy stuff. My son did a lot of big stuff in the business, man. He's still young. He's still younger than I was, you know what I'm saying? And he still does his thing. I'm not sure full-time in the business he doesn't, but he moved on to Major League Baseball. He had done production for that and things like that. So, but anyway, now I got my gun. Drew Ha was the only person who would make fun of me carrying, he got that damn knapsack. I carried my knapsack everywhere, y'all. I'm talking about the video shoots. I'm an executive, and people be like, why does this guy always have his knapsack? Drew Ha would laugh and be like, I know what you got in your knapsack, basically. I know, but I'm a professional. I'm in lawyers' offices. I'm changing from that. Not to say that I changed from my culture of hip hop, but I had to learn how to speak in layman's terms and interpret hip hop from what we know as the streets to the offices. Why? Because artists today will make you think that their song created the label. That's not 100. That's a 100% false. The record owners did not want us in these record labels. Okay, they didn't want no parts of hip hop. They saw the success from Def Jam, Relativity. You know what I'm saying? The smaller ones that were below Def Jam, but interpreting why someone's song is the next hit in the culture was always an argument. You know what I'm saying? So what I had to do was sharpen my skills. I had to learn what publishing was. I had to learn these things. So now I'm the guy walking around. A lot of the artists that I dealt with, they probably knew I had a gun all the time and things like that. But I wasn't using that state of mind. I just wanted to go home. So now I'm learning the business. I'm rocking Nervous Records. They start to hand me new records. Now I got Funk Master Flex's break beats. Now I'm working that. Then I'm working on DJ Riz. Big shout out to all of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Because even though they don't mention my name, and I appreciate y'all bringing me into history, I mention everybody's name, and you're gonna find that out. That I'm down. Listen, I'm down for the culture. You know what I'm saying? My platform. So I'm working Flex. KRS-One creates this guy called Mad Lion, right? So he creates this song called Take It Easy. Now, at this time, there's another cat at the label called Cyrus Singh. Cyrus was a professional, I'm going to say more professional in the retail side, because he had always been at Nervous Records, and what he did is he worked the dance records. So what we did is we followed wherever those dance records went, we put Black Moon Records. So this is how we opened up retail accounts and contracts throughout New York City, so that when you heard it on the radio, we didn't want you to have to wait to, damn, we can't find that in the store. Where's the tape? We were smart enough to go, okay, we got to get all these lists of every mom and pop store from East Coast to VIP Records on the West Coast. Big shout out to VIP. And I still speak to that family till this day, the son and everybody, you know, where you saw Snoop up on the roof. So that family is still relevant today. They actually respectfully called me when they thought about reopening the store. You know what I'm saying? So I was heavily involved in retail. I learned this retail hustle with no template, y'all. So now I put together college radio. Now we got mixed show. Now we got retail, Black Moons in stores. Now Drew Ha's taking them to retail stores where you might see old videos of them getting busy in stores and stuff like that. What you're watching is retail promotions at that point. It's not just an in-store. What it is developing a relationship with the buyer, with the retail store, showing a presence with the artist, showing that the artists are articulate, can shake hands, can say thank you, maybe even sign a couple of 100 autographs and things. In-stores were used to bring forth the relationship. That was our form of networking. We didn't have social media. So I had to go meet y'all brothers and say, hey, I'm Chappy. You know what I'm saying? I got 50 records. You mind if I leave these records here? We'll sign them, you know, sign here. When you get down to 10, give me a call. That's how we did hip hop. And we did this for Black Moon, and we created this. And behind that is where you see all the promotional things, the stickers. And so we back those up with that, because now retail people will be like, can I get 5 free shirts to give out and promote it? So we're like, oh, snap. Let's print up some shirts so that we can give it out to retail. These are all new things. You didn't really see these things going on in hip hop when Big Daddy came, KRS-One. You know, we had the music, we had the talent, but we didn't have the label infiltration. And I don't say that in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? I say that in a very good way. We didn't have none of you, me, us, the females who was in there making calls. And, you know, let's give them a shout out too, because we didn't have that. This is the first time we're infiltrating labels. And when I say this, people may say, well, there was labels uptown. So we didn't mess with them. We was too poor to mess with Uptown Records. We was too poor, you know, to mess with MCA. We was too poor to even mess with Def Jam. So we had to create this underground system that had a cause and an effect the same way. But we couldn't afford to do what they did. We never did a tour at Madison Square Garden. You know what I'm saying? Def Jam did those things. But what we would do is go to Madison Square Garden with our shit, for example, and hand it out. And those same people online, we gonna hit y'all with the flyer, hit y'all with the sticker, hit you with a promo tape. Now y'all know Black Moon. Now y'all know Mad Lion. Now y'all know DJ Riz. You know these things. So now, from that process, we go, they go, Chappy, we need a presence in the clubs. I go, damn, I know Def Jam at the time is probably the only company that had a powerful street team as far as, but it wasn't recognized because they were on an upper echelon. People who know New York City, there's a place called 14th Street and Union Square. Watch this, right? 14th Street, Union Square is where the underground of hip hop begins. 14th Street and below. 14th Street and above was all rich record labels. We didn't go uptown, fam. We didn't go up there. We didn't have no relations with them. Anything that came from this underground of hip hop came below 14th Street and down to Darrick Street where Def Jam was. We were across the street from Island Records, and I'll tell you about that. We were across the street from G Street Records. Down the street was Raucous Records. It was all in one circle, so we all intermingled. There is no relationship. We didn't learn, and we didn't have a template for the people who were doing it big. The only rapper I know that has a presence today that we would consider an underground rapper that had that uptown presence, they were a little more fancy than us, you know what I'm saying? We wore Timbs and shit. They wore buttons to shoot to work and shit, you know? Jeff Sledge, big shout out to my man Jeff Sledge, who signed Shaquille O'Neal's whole project back then, you know? But these were button-up guys. We was the guys, we smoking weed in the office, you know what I'm saying? We doing things because we was getting the feeling of the culture. The hip-hop culture back then was built on marijuana and beer. It wasn't built on mollies and X-pills. It was the drug will interpret the music, y'all.
Right.
Remember that. The drug will influence the music. This is how I understood marketing, y'all. It's not a science. So once we understood that we have a pattern, we create our street team now. Now I create the street team, and now we're at every show with Black Moon. Drew Ha is creating the management at this particular time. Now they introduce Smith & Wesson. If you look at my picture I sent Medicine Man, that's my first day or week at Nervous. Behind me is a drawing. The drawing of what becomes the Smith & Wesson sticker. It was drawn by one of them, hand drawn, and it's up on the wall behind me in that picture. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now now I loved Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson, Tech of Steel was to me as a duo. They were right. They were perfect for the time. Black Moon got a lot of radio. Smith & Wesson brought it back to Brooklyn and the boroughs and the grittiness and things, but with a spark. They had a song, Bucktown, home of the original Gun Clappers, and the album, The Shining, was already ready on deck. Now, how do I know this? Because I still got their demo tapes. I still got their demo tapes, y'all. I still got the original Smith & Wesson demo tapes, man. You know what I'm saying? And they were always nice, you know what I'm saying? You're too light to fight, and you're too thin to win. So who you going to call when I break your glass chin, Miss the Ripper? These guys were on. These are lyrics. I'm no lyricist, so y'all can laugh, right? So check that out. I'm no Steel, I'm no Tech, but I got a chance to work another heavy hip hop record. So now I got this new record, y'all, and it's Bucktown. Now they throw me in the video.
I'll be right back.
They throw me in the video. Now when I make calls, yo, I'm Chappy, Bucktown, I'm in the video, niggas. You know what I'm saying? Play my shit. You know what I'm saying? Bucktown. Now I got what I mean by that, guys, is I'm getting props. Now I got power. When I pick up the phone, every record that we sent out was filled with instructions on how to call me, or how to, it's a 12-inch. What we had was a small insert. We called them inserts, and we would create these inserts. And for you to learn who you had to call back, my name used to be on the insert. Call Chappy back. So now I'm developing a relationship. Now when I call radio stations, college radio, they answering on the first call. I done gave them 2 or 3 hits. I got Funk Flex, you know what I'm saying? I got break beats from Riz. I got Mad Lion for the stations that play a little reggae hip hop. He's taking off. KRS-One is the leader of that. And now I got The Shining, right? Now I got, Bucktown. And it became a smooth transition for me to not only market Bucktown, they put me in the video, which gave me more strength. And big shout out to my boy who's in the video. His name was Nut the Barber. He passed away a few years ago. He also grew up with me and Drew, you know what I'm saying, in the 914 area. Big shout out to, 914, the White Plains. And so I, at this particular time, man, I'm blowing up. Everybody knows my name because, and I explain, let me say this to people who may say, well, he's saying he's blowing up. To push a record, the person behind the record had to have some steam, had to be known. It couldn't be just a Joe Blow handed you that Wu-Tang record, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Or that Black Moon record, y'all. It had to be somebody who that the radio and and the video shows, the Ralph McDaniels, the underground show, they trusted. Like, Chap, you got that Black Moon? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got that Black Moon, but check out the new, Smith & Wesson, Bucktown. Now the video drops, I'm in the video. Now, because we're in the time and day where we couldn't do this right here, now people can see who I am. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm calling back to the radio stations like, yo, you see me in the video? Play that shit some more. You know what I'm saying? So I'm using that particular leverage not as a selfish thing, but to brand my groups or brand the groups. You know what I'm saying? I'm branding the groups at this time, and I'm also making a name for myself. Island Records calls me. I'm like, oh snap, what do Island want? And shit. I'm like, damn, I don't even know anybody on Island Records. A woman named Tuve Ijo, EJ. You'll look her up. Tuve Ijo is Chris Blackwell's assistant. Now, for those who don't know Chris Blackwell, right? I'm gonna tell you who Chris Blackwell is. Chris Blackwell owns all the Bob Marley stuff. Everything you see from Tough Gone, all of that stuff. And basically Chris Blackwell, I've never seen him in person. In fact, he was living in Jamaica in the 90s. He very rarely came to America. So I never met him, but his assistant was from London. Her name was Tuve Ijo. Tuve called me down to the Island office, and I go to Island, and I didn't even know TVT was across the street. I'm still uptown. And remember, the only underground record label basically at that time that was above 42nd Street was Nervous Records. Okay, y'all? Was Nervous Records. That was 1501 Broadway, or, you know what I'm saying? Right next door to MTV once again. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. So now we downtown, and I go, and she's like, Darrick, we need help getting this Mobb Deep record into the streets. I know the Mobb Deep record. For those who don't know which record I'm talking about, it's the Shook One's original single, okay? What everybody fell in love with was the Shook One's remix, okay? If you look closely, that's called the Shook One's remix. The original single, which was doing well for underground, they were making noise, but not good enough for Island Records. Okay, so now 4 or 5 months into me marketing, wait, back up. I go back uptown. I have a meeting with Island Records. I go back into the office. I give them my fee for how much I'm gonna charge to market and promote and blow their record up. And they're slick because they came to me because they saw what we was doing at Nervous. We created this template, y'all. There's no independent label that was doing what we was doing. We the first to really start going out there and hitting college hard. Others watched what we did with Black Moon. Think about this, y'all. If you're a historian of how record labels moved, okay, you saw us come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Out of nowhere. And the reason we came out of nowhere is because I put together this strategy by going specifically to these divisions, retail, radio, specifically PR, whatever PR we could get. Now we're in clubs at night. Okay, I know all the DJs because they're coming up to the offices. Every DJ back then you had to come to the label. I'm the guy you got to see, so I know everybody. And the DJ Clue, he's shouting me out. I got props. I said, oh shit, you know, I'm a humble guy, and this is why 20, 30 years later, I'm only doing this interview now. So I didn't take those props and use them for myself. I used them to advance my groups, the artists that I was, you know, assigned to. So now I go back uptown. My meeting goes great with Island Records, y'all. My meeting goes great. I don't know nothing about Island. I got Tim's on once again. I'm in a different state of mind. I'm like, okay, Mobb Deep is dope though, because I already know them. I even got the tape. So I go back uptown. I don't say nothing. I tell them I'm on my lunch break. Go home, come back the next day. They're like, yo, we're going to send you a fax of the contract. I'm like, okay. The fax comes through and it comes into Mike Weiss, who looks like Gargamel, y'all. Mike Weiss looks like fucking Gargamel. It comes into fucking Gargamel's office. Gargamel comes walking out the office into the office where me and Drew shared the same office. We did different stuff, but me and Drew were in the same office. And he walks in with the fax and goes, Chappy, what's this? I said, well, what you mean? That's my contract for Mobb Deep and Island. Well, you can't work multiple records. Motherfucker, you paying me $75 a week. I need to work all the records that I fucking can. You know what I'm saying? So for $75 a week, this is what he got out of me, y'all. Creating a whole template which other record labels actually mimicked. You know what I'm saying? So now he fires me right there. Well, I gotta fire you because that's our competition. So I'm like, all right. So I take the contract out of his hand. The strange part is I grew up with Drew Ha. He never said a word. You know, we'll talk about things like that. You know what I'm saying? And I go downtown to Island. I go up into the office. There's a brother in the office. His name is Al Butter. His name is Al Butter McLean, who later on became the vice president of Cobalt Music. Hold that thought right there.